Hey gorgeous, welcome back to Soil and Margaritas. Can you believe that February is already here? I have so many things growing in this room. I have a lot of plans for the month of February, seeds that I gotta start, projects that I gotta finish. February is the perfect month for you to start your brassicas. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage, kohlrabi, all of those things. I am not going to be doing any of those brassicas this year. As I mentioned, I'm going to be taking a step back on growing a lot of the vegetables, and the brassicas are just going to go. But if you're thinking about growing any of those, this is the perfect month to get those started. I will start them in big containers already, in a 2.5, 3-inch container, just so that you don't have to pat them up, you don't have to be messing with the roots. And those will be perfect for you to plant about the beginning, middle of March. So get those brassicas going. February is going to be the month where I start a bunch of seeds, flowers, and vegetables. And some of those are going to be for my seedling sale that I have planned sometime around the end of April. Some of the things that I am going to be starting are peppers, coleus, petunias. I ordered those petunias yesterday from Park Seed. I didn't have the ones that I wanted. I ordered the Easy Wave Berry Velour petunias. This variety, the Easy Wave, were the ones that I started the first year, a couple of years ago when I started petunias, and they did amazing. I am also going to be starting stock. I was also on the fence about starting stock for my cut flowers. I finally decided I'm gonna give it a go. I think that I might be a couple of weeks late. I should have started those things in the middle of January, but I'd rather be late a couple of weeks than not try them at all this year. We'll see how they do. They might be okay. So I'm going to be starting a lot of those seeds for my cut flowers and also for the seedling sale. But let me give you a super quick update on the seedlings that I have going right now. Okay, these are the ones that we started, or that I started about 3 weeks ago. They're a couple of days short of being here for 3 weeks. This is yarrow. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous growth. This right here is feverfew. Beautiful seedlings. And this right here where you don't see anything, well, I have 2 seedlings out of the 20 that I try. This is buplorium. I did something different with buplorium. I'm going to show you here in a minute. This right here is starflower. Look at those beauties. Like I said, I started these guys about 3 weeks ago. They're just gorgeous, beautiful. This right here, again, almost 3 weeks ago. These right here are all of my rudbeckias. I have 2 types of rudbeckia. The germination is great on this type, this type is Maya. And this right here is Goldilocks. And Goldilocks seems to have a little bit of spotty germination, but it's all right. These right here are all of my foxgloves. Look at that. 3 weeks, you guys. 3 weeks ago. Look at how big they already are. This right here is what my buplorium is looking like. And I treated the seeds a different way. I'm actually going to be doing a special update on all of my seedlings here next. But I got almost 100% germination on buplorium. Isn't that amazing? These guys, I started them almost a week ago, exactly about a week ago now. All of this right here is status. Look at that. 1 week old. This right here is one that is just making me so happy. All of this is scabiosa. 1 week ago we started these guys. I show you the seeds. I was actually a little bit concerned for scabiosa, the size of the seeds. But look at that. These guys are already up and going. They are looking amazing. And this right here next to it is mountain mint. And I do have some germination, although the seedlings are super tiny. I don't know how well the video is going to pick them up. Beautiful too. And all the ones in this tray are my snapdragons. I do have lots of germination going already, but it may be hard to pick it up in the video. Again, 1 week old. So I am very happy with how everything is growing. A lot of the things are germinating. I am glad that I tried that buplarium in a different way. And like I said, I'm going to make a video just for the update of the seedlings that I have growing here, because I know that a lot of you guys are wondering about that. So look for that here in a couple of days. Another thing that I am going to do here, probably in the next couple of days, is that I am going to start a second round of Ranunculus corms. I already have Ranunculus growing in 3-inch containers. It has been really nice outside. It has been in the lower 40s here in central Indiana for the highs. And I have been keeping them outside. I just have 3 trays, and it's easy for me just to take them outside in the front porch. They have been getting a little bit of sun here and there, but not completely. And they have only been out there for 3 or 4 days so far. So I haven't been able to leave them outside just quite yet, because I'm not comfortable that they're going to handle the really cold temperatures just quite yet. But they're getting all of the cool, nice weather that is outside. And the reason why I am not keeping them here under my grow lights is because my room is very, very warm. On a normal day, I average 70, 75 here. So it's really warm for those corms. And I'm afraid that I'm just going to hurt the plants and pushing them to just be done, because ranunculus do not appreciate warm weather. So my plan with this second set of ranunculus is just to put them in a tray with soil, and I am going to pre-sprout them. I am going to soak them first. I am going to pre-sprout them, and I am not going to move them into smaller containers. They're just going to stay in the big tray, and the big ones that I have in the 3-inch containers and the pre-sprouted ones that I am going to start here soon are going to go outside sometime around the middle of February. And I am going to provide protection because they're going to appreciate that. Plus, if we have some really cold temperatures overnight, I can easily just put a plastic over them, and it's just really easy for me that way. Hopefully, if you're growing ranunculus, hopefully they're already pre-sprouting for you. If you have, let me know how that's going, because this is going to be the year for ranunculus. There were a lot of things that I couldn't do in the month of January. I really wanted to start working on the flower bed in the front of my garage where I have my water fountain. I need to start putting some cardboard down. I need to start moving some of the shrubs there, getting them out of the way. But when January started, it wasn't looking that bad as far as temperature. But then we went into some really, really cold days, polar vortex, as they're calling it. And there was no way that I was going to be trying to dig shrubs in the frozen soil. There's just no way. So that pushed my plants to start getting some of those out until this month. The weather doesn't look as bad here in the next few days. And as long as the soil is workable, I can start moving some of those boxwoods, some of those hydrangeas and other perennials that I have growing in that area, because that's where I'm going to be building a couple of raised beds, and that's where I am going to be placing a lot of these seeds, these cauliflower seeds that I am starting indoors. So I have to get that done soon. And the weather also shows a lot of rain in the forecast, so that's going to be perfect for my no-dig idea that I'm planning to do there. The cardboard that I am going to be placing there, I don't have to be keeping it wet all the time. So the rain and the snow possibly are going to help with that. So if you have been thinking about doing raised beds with the no-dig technique, definitely this is the month for you to try and get that done. Another thing that I am going to start doing really, really soon before I take those ranunculus out is that I am going to start setting up a couple of raised beds that I already have with low tunnels. That just means getting plastic, getting the frost blankets, and getting the things that I need to make the hoops for adding those low tunnels. I am really struggling deciding what supplies to get for those low tunnels, because I want to be able to reuse those supplies, the hoops specifically, year after year. And using PVC, while it's probably the cheapest option, it's not really doable with the size of those raised beds. Some of those raised beds are only 2-3 feet wide, and the PVC doesn't quite bend that well. So I am looking into EMT conduit, that's what it's called. And while that might be just a little bit more expensive, I want to make sure that I can just get those out when I need them. I can squeeze those in my garage with no problem. So trying to figure that out, how I'm going to make those hoops for raised beds that small is also something that I'm going to be looking into it. For the last few days, I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos of people doing their own DIY vendors for hoops. And I think that for my very, very small raised beds, the ones that aren't really wide, I'm going to be looking into that. And I'll probably definitely volunteer my husband to get that done. Pruning. This is the month that I am going to be pruning my roses. I'm also going to be I'm going to keep an eye on the weather, and if I have a couple of days where I can comfortable be outside pruning, I am going to start pruning my hydrangea hedge. Normally I get this done in March, sometime in March, but I know with all the things that I am going to be doing with the cool flowers, with the things that I am going to be transplanting outside during that month, I really want to make sure that I get things done ahead of time so that I am not just running around trying to rush things. So my hydrangea hedge is definitely one that I can prune now. They are a beautiful, beautiful set of paniculata hydrangeas, limelight hydrangeas, and I can easily do that right after they're done blooming in the fall. But I really love the look of them being covered with the snow, so I just let them be there. But definitely February is the month, and I'm also going to be moving one of the roses that I have in a container in front of my garage, because even though it's supposed to be on the smaller side, I think that she really, really likes that area, and it's just overkill. This is a Bathsheba David Austin rose that I just absolutely love. And I am going to be moving it in the ground and in front of my raised bed area, my kitchen garden area. And I hope that she just loves it there. And right now when the roses are dormant, is the perfect time to move them. So if you have things to move, or if you have things to prune, this is definitely the month to do it. I got this question a lot on a couple of videos where I mentioned that I was going to be getting plugs from Lisiantes, and some of you had questions about where to get them, how to purchase them. This is my first time actually ordering plugs wholesale. I ordered them from Farmer Bailey's, which is probably the one that most cut flower farmers order from. I don't think that for the amount of plugs that you get, I don't think that the prices are too bad, but you have to get trays of varieties. And you can't choose, I need 10, 20, 40 of one variety. They basically sell you half of a tray or a whole tray depending on the variety, and I have to get a whole tray of Lisianthus, a whole tray of Buplurium, and also a tray of Ami. And like I say, Farmer Bailey sells wholesale, and I have a business for soil and margaritas, so that was no problem for me. However, I did get an email earlier in the year where they are now, Farmer Bailey is now selling to home gardeners. They have a different website separate for that. I believe that it's called the Garden Club. And if you want to check them out, they're not paying me to say this. I just figure I will pass the information to you guys. But they have plugs in 8 or 10 plugs, I believe. And they have really, really cool varieties. I checked their website yesterday, and they really have a lot of things. If you're anything like me, that you failed many times at growing Lisianthus from seed, but you really want to try them, you can just get a few plugs and try them for yourself and see if you like them. And yes, I'm going to be doing an unboxing here in the middle of March when I get those plugs. I have seen other people receive those. Many people get those from Farmer Bailey, so I'm pretty sure that the quality is just going to be amazing. That is all I have for you guys as far as the month of February. We're going to be starting a bunch of seeds. We're going to be starting a lot of things for my home garden, a lot of things for the seedling sale, and hopefully you are liking what you see so far. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I will try to link to websites or to products of things that I mentioned here in the video's description. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on the next time.